pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I know he was out last week, but not today. I haven't thought about that. Okay, Mr. Vino, we have minutes of August 7th, regular and executive session.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the August 7, 2006 regular session minutes as written.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Vino, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous? 4-0.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the August 7, 2006 executive session minutes as written.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Vino, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous? Correspondence?
I'm all set.
Jody, I didn't get back to my house in time this evening to get my packet, which I left in the other car. Did you just mark that I want a copy of that one document that was on there?
Yeah. It's this location.
Yeah.
I'll set that. Right?
Okay, public comment. Yes.
Is that me? Okay. My name is Mark Paul. I'm at 12 Upton Ave on behalf of Narissa, North Reading Youth Services. And we presented 3 petitions. As courtesy, we want to let you know and show our interest in having you guys give us some time at one of your next Selectmen's meetings so we can give you more detail.
Seen the articles yet, so.
Yeah, it's in the packet. I just tried it.
We want to have the town support a self-funded youth director for the town, and we've already started the funding, and we're doing real well at that. It's we've got a lot of support from people in town. It's directed towards people, kids really, between the ages of 11 and 12 to 16 to 18, whenever they lose interest in programs to keep them interested in things other than hanging around and stuff. I don't know if you're familiar with what we've been doing, Steve, but yeah. So we just.
I just figured,
We
we'll
want
get out a little
the
bit
town-
now, and then we'll get into the details, maybe at a public hearing.
Right, no, I just, we want the town to support us as well. Being self-funded, we hope it all goes through.
That's always an encouraging proposal.
Right. So at least for now, and then once the director is in place, well, it'll still be self-funded, but by him and this committee may be formed, well, it'd be a new committee formed to take over for us in a few years, hopefully. So.
I just don't get the details of it. I'm just looking at it for the first time, right?
Yeah.
So like 11 members, you're talking about appointing a committee. It'll be a standing committee of the town.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go through the details.
It was in the, it wasn't in our packet.
No, it's in the.
We just got it.
Just came in. Just came in.
So none of us have seen it.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, I was just saying, Mark, maybe you just want to give us an overview of what you're proposing,
Yeah.
and then when we have our public hearing, you just have a,
What you see this position addressing the issues that, going on in this. Currently, I know Narissa's done a great job of reaching out to the community and to talk to them about drug use. I know you were toasting the police. Why don't you give the group some of those details about what meetings you've had?
Well, a lot of us went to, I don't know, the police put on a informational type meeting over 6 weeks, a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, I think, actually. And we learned that there's a serious problem, and here we come out of the meeting saying, okay, well, now what do we do about it? And that's where this group formed to try to do something about it. So we went to Andover. North Andover is really the one that inspired us the most, other than the initial meeting itself, to help. And they have great support over there in both towns. Andover's been at it, North Andover's been at it for 18 years, and they've made a difference. And so we want to do the same. A lot of other towns in the state are doing it also, and we want to make a difference and give these kids an alternative to boredom and going down the wrong path. It's outside of youth sports and anything related to school or churches or anything like that. We want to have everybody welcome to have this youth services director, be involved with their lives.
So your goal,
Can I just ask one question?
your goal is to try to address the kids that are now falling through the cracks, that are not
Yes.
participating in sports, or they're not in one of these
Yeah, there's
regular
some kids
programs.
that don't
And
care for sports and
stop the kind of drug problems we've had.
Right.
I know recently we had one of our, a young man that went through our school systems, have die of an overdose not that long ago.
Right. Well, that's just
And I
what,
think that brings
that's
that
just what
home
got
to
us
us.
going, yeah.
Joe.
Mark, if I could, because I know we're going to discuss this later, but just, again, I just saw it too. So, but just to clear my mind. So this person will not be a town employee. This person will just be hired,
Will be.
So we'll be a town employee,
benefited,
yes,
and all the funds will be paid for by your group,
by that group.
for the benefits and
Yes.
everything else,
Yeah.
salary.
Mhm.
Okay, like I said, we'll discuss it.
So this leads to a question that I would have is, obviously, as a group, you've discussed this, why does the person need to be a town employee if it's going to be funded from this group?
Please, go ahead, read it down.
I can just help to address it. I'm a member of the ERISA group also. When we looked at it, we looked at the different towns, and feel that a lot of the things that they're going to do, and we're working with all the people in the town, recreation strongly, police strongly, DPW strongly, feel that it should be a member of the town, employee of the town. It'll be paid out of a revolving fund, and one of the things that you'll see, they've asked for 2 revolving funds there. One is a grant and gift account, and one will be a revolving fund that works just like recreation did. So the player to be named will be kind of work the same way recreation does, but you'll have a director, only in this case, it'll be self-funded from ERISA, making donations to a grant account, which is a revolving grant account, a gift account, and then that gift account can roll money to pay the director the salaries and benefits. The finance director, Mr. Tassoni, helped us very, very much to put these together. I would just like to beg of the selectmen that we kind of hold the space in case, we worked on. Joe was great making calls and everything, but we want to make sure that we look at the 3 things, make sure everything's covered. I'd hate to see it get to town meeting floor and, if there's a word that's not in there correctly, have it not be done. So we'd like kind of a week to, work with Joe just to make sure it's in there. I think it's important also that it's the director of the town is someone that every town that you look at has youth and recreation, youth and health services, or youth alone. So, every department every town is set up differently, but they're all directors that are employed by the town. And I think that's a, kind of a safer way to do it. They're using, we expect them to use the school buildings, we expect them to use town grounds, we expect them to use this building. They're going to be in and out, so I think the safest way for everybody concerned would be to get a position in the town. So it's one of those ones that at your next meeting maybe, or whatever you discuss it, if you could hold a couple of spots just so, I don't know if it would be the selectmen sponsor it, just to give us a chance to make sure all the language is correct in there.
Well, I just commented, these are citizen petitions, and
These are
therefore they
automatically
have
on.
to go, they will go on the warrant without question,
No, that
but they
does-
can't be changed.
No, right, this can't be changed because it's turned in today at 4 o'clock. I guess what I'm asking is, a lot of times in recreation, we would have a citizen's petition, but then we would say to the selectmen, gee, can we put recreation, put the same thing on, but you might change the language a little bit. I just want, even though, Joe and I sat and researched what we think is the right 53.5 E, for the revolving funds and things like that. If it comes that, you know, we put something in that it might be a little bit of the wrong language, if the selectmen, we're just asking, you have time before your warrant comes in, if any selectmen requests that something be put on, that we might want to put on the exact same identical items, or maybe with some wordage change if we made a mistake on the citizen petition.
Steve?
Yeah, just on the first citizen's petition in relation to the establishment of it, and again, this might be a good reason to hold a space, is that, again, we just got this. The committee shall consist of 11 citizens, 4 of whom shall be appointed by the selectmen. The committee will consist of the existing 7 board members and 4 members appointed by the town administrator. And then you, and it doesn't say anything about, I mean, of the 7, you know, until death do us part.
Right.
So you know, in other words,
Well, that's
I
why
think it needs to
there
be
was
worded.
something- Right, there was something in
So
there.
there's a transition period, as we did with like Hillview and.
If the selectmen did it, I think it may, I mean, if the selectmen saved the space for it, we may have to change for the rest of to consider it again. I almost think they should be appointed by the town administrator. You know, because the town administrator appoints recreation members and the town administrator appoints some.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
So it's similar to, you know, similar committees, similar type,
I'm just looking at quickly.
right.
You've got 11 members, 7 who are currently seated, and then 4 appointed by the selectmen. Then the next paragraph say 4 appointed by the town administrator. So, so there's a conflict right there, and you're already over 11, or you, I don't know what it is. So it just needs to be cleaned up,
Right.
and I
And what
understand it's a
find out
last
is
minute
there's a
petition.
spot that just, that if the selectmen would be good enough to sponsor it in a week or so, I think it would give myself and Joe just a chance to make sure we try to consider any amounts of money that might come in. If a grant came in, you know, how does it get set up? So I said, I hate to go to word, go to town meeting, because we've got a couple words out of order, not let it be addressed.
Are we gonna set this up for discussion later, or,
Not today.
no, plan on, do the warrants?
Yes.
I think it.
We may need to do this sooner than later.
I think so. I just think there's some conflict in the language, in addition to what I read, just in the establishment. The rest of it, as far as setting up the revolving funds, are pretty standard. But I think the board conceptually has to either be on board or not on board if they're going to support it. If they're conceptually on board, then let's establish it so that it works. And,
Right, you could still put it on, just even if you put it on just as a courtesy, you could still say we're not in favor of it at the time if that was the case, but at least you've allowed the committee to, you know, have it on there and come address you properly. I didn't get a chance to go by, John Murphy was also to make sure as a moderator he felt it was correct.
Mr. Chairman, can I make one comment?
Yes, please.
I want to make sure that I disclose at this time that my wife, Kathy Dadino, is one of the founding members of NERISA, very involved in this, and because there's no remuneration for this, there's no pay involved, there's no money involved at all. I talked to town council, I don't think there's any barrier involved, and I want to disclose that my wife is involved in this group.
the only pay, Phil, is payback if you don't support.
Yeah, well, you know about that.
I know all about
You
that.
know all about that.
Well, when I just read through this briefly here, and trying to read while I'm also listening, this first article, the one that proposes this committee, makes no mention of an administrator or director that's paid
Because
for by the
under
town.
the nature of the revolving fund, it's allowed to pay directors' salaries, et cetera, so it's the same as recreation in the revolving fund, wanted to hire 2 or 3 people and paid out of the revolving fund, you can't do that. So by the nature of 53.5E and whatever the other number is, it allows you to hire a director. I remember Barbara Stats also originally we had asked to add a new committee to the town called that. Barbara said that's a charter change, so the correct way to do it would be at least the way that it's written now, which is the same way LEC's got it, form a committee, blah, blah, blah,
I
blah.
guess,
So I mean, I believe, other than that, I think that double typo there.
well, you know, when I read this though, you know, I'm looking at the bottom of the first page. It says to work with NRYSSA in support of efforts to fund the youth services director position in developing programs of grant writing and fundraising. Nowhere does it say